Okay, good. So we are ready to start. Welcome everyone. So we have again lots of people from all over the world: Brazil, Israel, different states in the US, Czech Republic. It's really nice international webinar. I'm going to go over the webinar that we had last week, but with lots of more information. Please feel free to ask questions. I will watch the chat. So what are the basic guide? If you have any question, you can send me a chat at any time. Just feel free, and I will get the chat and I will answer the questions. Throughout the webinar, I will give a kind of homework. Be ready to write it down. I will also give you structure for Excel files that you need and stuff like that. So it will be very practical, not just theoretical. So be ready to write it down. You'll be able to email me your homework assignment, and I will work with you on getting excellent results. So anyone that needs any kind of help, advice, anything, I'll be very happy to answer questions and work with you. And my email address is meirwebinar@timemaker.org. You have it on the screen. So you can write it down, meirwebinar@timemaker.org. At the end of the webinar, you will be asked to complete a short survey. Please do it. It is really important. Most of you did in the last time and the time before, and it was great, and we're improving based on your comments. Okay, so we're ready to start. So we're living, as I told you last time, in an exponential time. Things are moving exceptionally fast, and I think that people don't really realize how fast things are moving. So it took to reach market audience of 50 million people for radio 50 years. It took TV only 13 years. It's like a third or something. The internet took only 4 years, less than 10% of the radio. iPod, it took only 2 years. And Facebook, 1 year. It's things moving exceptionally fast. By the time you send a message in Facebook, in less than 5 minutes, it's old news. It's melted. By the time it hits the ground, it's melted. It has almost no value. Things are moving fast, and you need to think with this kind of an environment. And if you don't think with this kind of environment and you're stuck in the old ways, you will see you'll have a problem getting the attention. 1 in 8 couples married in the US last year met online. It means lots of people are online. If Facebook was a country, it would be the 3rd largest country behind China and India. 1 week of the New York Times contain more information than a person was likely to come across in a lifetime in the 18th century. It's amazing amount of information. It estimated that 4 exabyte, which is 4 times 10 to the power of 19, of unique information will be generated this year. Now, this is more than the previous 5,000 years combined. It's unique information. It's not just blah, blah. It's things that has been created from nothing. And the amount of technical information doubling every 2 years. So it means that a person that studied today something technically, within 2 years, what he studied will become old news. Things are really, really moving fast. Okay, so what does it all mean? It means only one thing. It means you need to survive, you must become a professional. Now, what is a professional? A professional is someone that knows what he's doing and control the tool of his trade. And one of the indications that someone is professional, he can do things much faster than anyone else, and he can predict the result. So if someone tells you, well, I don't know what will happen, he's just not professional in that area. You take a race driver, he drives much faster than a normal driver. A professional knows what he's doing. He is quite confident in the result, and his actions are really accurate. Now, what's the difference between a professional and a not professional and an amateur? An amateur, they know what they know and accept that life is like that. They don't try to learn. They don't try to improve. They just go and they continue with their old ways. They never really try to change or learn, although they say to themselves that they do. But the indication is you ask them, okay, can you do ABC? And they are not sure. They cannot put their head on the line and say, yes, I'm 100% going to achieve that, and at that specific time. Time is a big indication. If you have someone that's slow, he is not a professional. You take a programmer and programmer number one, assuming both of them get to the same result, yes? Programmer number one, write a program in a week. Programmer number two, write the same program in a month. The first programmer is professional, the second one is not. A professional, on the other hand, they learn and they improve continuously. So let's take some example. Omri Caspi is the first Israeli guy to be on the NBA. He took every holiday that they had as a team, and from his own money, he went and got into special training programs. Every holiday, so 4 times in a year, he took special training programs. He is a professional. You take Michael Jordan, he was already the best, and he took special training programs. And the question that I have is, what about you? Well, you prove that you are a professional because you are learning. You are in this webinar, and I'm sure that you are not only on this webinar. I'm sure you're getting all kind of newsletters and you studying continuously. And you will see that the more you will learn, the more you will control your life. The less you will learn, the more life will control you. So if you feel that you are not in control of some area of your life, you are not professional in that area, and all you have to do is simply to study, to learn, to find out what you don't know. Once you find out what you don't know about this area, it is guaranteed that you will control that area of your life. And once you will control that area of your life, everything will go as you want because you control it. When you control the car, you'll get to where you want. When you don't control the car, you are history, you are statistics. What all this thing, how does it all apply to marketing? It's very much applied, but in short, it means that you must build a better mousetrap, meaning your system must be much better than before. It cannot be the old ways. And if you do build such a mousetrap, the world will beat a path to your door. People will come to you. You will not have to look for people, to look for customers. They will come to you. So your first indication is, do you know, are you a professional in the area of marketing? Is, do people break down the doors? Do you need to build gates around your offices because there are too many people? Then you're a professional. If not, you're not. Apple are professionals. When they come with a new iPhone, they need to put guards and so on outside their doors. They know how to market. So let's look at what the ideal marketing campaign is not, because it's really important to understand the full picture of what the ideal marketing is, but also what it is not. Because when you know what is not, you will recognize that when it happened, this not thing happening, you know something is wrong. You need to learn. So it is not a silver bullet. It's not something that you come up with an idea that's called iPhone and that's it. No, it's not. The iPhone took many, many years, took a lot of tries until actually Apple became a success. If you take a more technical area, there's a company that's called ARM. ARM is a company that creates the chip that basically are inside all the cell phones, or most of the cell phones, not all the cell phones, but the majority of the cell phones. This company was basically bankrupt a few times, but they continue and they market and remarket and restudy, and you will talk to the founder and he will tell you, he basically believed that if he will learn more, he will succeed. And that's all he's done. He learned and learned and learned, and every time that he failed, he learned a bit more, one more area, and at the end they're the most successful quiet company. You don't know them unless if you are very technical. It is not just a good idea. A good idea is important, but it's about 1% of the success, because the 99% of everything that goes on in life repeats itself, and it's based on very basic knowledge. This is how things get done, and there is only 1% that is an amazing idea. 1% of genius, 99% of hard work, organized, a system. It is not advertising or brochure or company logo or any other specific activity or item. And this is a big trap, because when you will go to marketing companies, they will basically try to sell you that it's just advertise or just do a nice brochure, expensive brochure, or it's all about your logo. No, it's not that. It's something totally different. It is not image advertising like you see on TV and in a major magazine. Yes, for sure, Coca-Cola have a lot of money and they can do a lot of image advertising, but it is not what brings the success. You will need it once you have big success. And of course, it helps. It's good if you have the money to spend, but most of the people do not start with tons of money. And it is not easy to create, but it is necessary. And once it is in place, it is simple. What do I mean once it is in place? Once you know what you need to know, the indication, it is becoming simple. If you go to someone that is a professional and you will ask him how to do something, the first thing that he will tell you, it is simple and this is how I'm doing it. If he's telling you it's complicated, you need to know. This guy do not know. I don't care how many certificates he has. I don't care about anything. If he tells you, if he thinks that it's complicated, he doesn't know. Because when someone knows, the first thing that you see, he thinks that it's extremely simple. Okay, so what the ideal marketing campaign will accomplish? So the first of all, it will create maximum reach from customers with minimum effort from you. So the more effort you have, the less far you are from the ideal marketing campaign. You need to learn something. You need to change something. When you have an effort, you need to know that something is pushing against you. The only time that you have an effort is when something going against you. So you want to create maximum reach from customers with minimum effort from you. When you feel that your marketing campaign requires effort from you, when it's not really happening, when it is slow, you need to know that really there is a problem. You are missing something. You don't know something. Start to look. An ideal marketing is a total system, and it brings constant reach to your phone, email, fax, clicks to Facebook, website, etc. So it's a total system. It's not one thing. It's really a whole thing together that once all of it is together, it will work. If you will do 1 or 2 or 3, it will not work. It's a bit like a cake. You need all the ingredients, and if you don't have all the ingredients, it will not come up nice. So it's a total system. You need a system. Today we're going to go about of some of the key issue, but it's definitely not everything. Okay, so let's look at the indication that you need help with your marketing campaign. So the first thing, you do not have enough deal flow. You just need, let's say that you need 10 prospects to turn up 6 deals, and you have only 3. It's not enough. You need much more. You do not choose your customers. Basically, what do I mean that you do not choose your customers? When a customer comes to you, you will try to change your product to fit the customer, rather than to have the customer fitting your product. So if you sell a software, you will offer all kind of spatial application. If you sell cosmetic product, you will try to say that this product does what it's not exactly supposed to do. So when you have a problem with your customer, when you try to sell the product and you need to change the product to fit the customer, you have a problem with the marketing campaign. You don't have enough customers. You don't have enough deal flow. You cannot walk away from a deal. Every deal is important because the end of the month arrives and you need to pay salary. So you take whatever customer is in front of you. And there are some customers that the best thing to do with them is to give them a recommendation letter and send them to the competition. These customers will create more headache than all the other customers together, and you need to know how to recognize them. You need to chase your customers. The customers don't chase you, you chase them. And when there is a situation where you need to call again and again and again and again, and the customer do not know, you do not have the marketing in place. Because marketing will create reach, and marketing will bring about sales. Most of the people knows that marketing creates reach. They don't know that marketing will supposed to create sales. They think salespeople supposed to create sales. No, marketing brings sales. Salespeople doing something totally different. You cannot predict your income. Your income one week is good, the next week is low, the next week is low, and the next week is whatever. If you cannot predict your income and you know that you're making minimum per week or per month so much, and it's constant and it's growing, something is wrong with your marketing campaign. Don't go and look in other places. It takes a long time to close a customer. When the sales process is too long, you need to know something is wrong. Okay, so how do you create the ideal marketing campaign? Okay, so the first thing you do, you create a list of products. Only those you can deliver. It's really important. So you make a list of all the products that you can deliver, just a long list. And usually most of the companies have a lot of products, and because they have a lot of products, they think that they should market all of them. What you do is you make a list of products, and the next thing, you check the sales history of all those products, how much you sold, or the margin if it's a new product. If it's a totally new product, you find, okay, fine, let's say I have 5 new products that I can take out to the market. Which one is with the biggest margin? Then you create an Excel, and in this Excel you put the category, what kind of a category you have, what's the product name, what's the cost of the product, what other costs involved in delivering the product, what is your sales price, what other kind of income you have. Sometimes you have income from support, sometimes you have income from shipping, etc. What is the profit in dollars and what is the profit in percent? How many you sell per month? And what is the total sales per month in dollars? And what is the total profit? You create this Excel. So now the next thing you're doing after you created this Excel, the next thing you're doing, you select one product. Now, the one you will deliver the most value to the customer and the one that will give you the most profit. So you need to find a balance between the profit and the value to the customer. And the profit, we're talking about profit in percentage and profit in total dollars. And let's look at this a little bit more. Why you select one product? Because we want focus, because we want to have a very clear message to the customer in that marketing campaign. It doesn't mean that I cannot market another product in another marketing campaign, but each marketing campaign should have one product. This is the one we're talking about, and we're delivering one message about this product again and again and again, and it takes 6 times before a guy will actually make a decision. That's the average. Now, how to select one product? So we said that we're creating this Excel, and I created here an example of an Excel, and let me show you what we have. We have here the product category. One is beauty and one is health, and we have different product A, B, C, D, and F, H, G, E. And it's not in the right order, ABC order. You will see within a second why. We have here the cost of the product, how much it cost us. We have what is the other cost that involved. We have the sales price and other income. And when I do the cost and the other cost, and I deduct it from the sales price and the other income, I get the profit. This is my profit. Now I look at the profit percentage, and you will see that there is profit percentage here from 111% to 31%. So this is quite a big range of profit. And here we have from 122 to 68. Now let's look at the first product line. And the first product line, we will see that we have 109% create for us the highest profit in dollars, although not in percentage. It also push here a very high number of units, 350. Now, on the other hand, we have the last product D that we sell 500 units, and it creates a little bit more dollars, $12,000, but it's not worth the effort. Probably the headache that it takes to deliver this 500 unit is much bigger than 350, and that's why I will choose this one as the first one. On the second product, it's very interesting that the one that has only 68% create almost 3 times profit in dollars. So when I will look at that product, probably I will say, well, the value to the customer is so much. How do I know how much they're buying? The value to the customer is so much that it will be the right thing to start with this product as the first product. So it's really important to look at the data, and the more product you have, the more sophisticated you need to be with your evaluation. This is a really basic evaluation. The model can become much more involved. But regardless what it is, you're going to promote a specific product, and every time, and you can promote many products in parallel, but every time you handle one set of product and you promote that product. The focus is exceptionally important. So what we looked at profit and customer needs. This is really the two things that we looked at, okay? The next thing is, so how do you create the ideal marketing campaign? How does it create it? So we know we found one product, we figured out the profit, and we figured out the value to the customer, and this is the two key things by selecting the product. And then once I selected the product, I want to find out all about this product. I need to know everything. What does it mean, everything? All the prices in the market, past successful actions, similar product, keywords used by competition, the competition successful action, etc. So you need to know everything there is to know about this product. And you do that by creating a table with a comparison. So you don't just go and look and remember, because what you will remember will not necessarily give you the real picture. When you write it down and put it down as something that you can evaluate as some kind of a statistic, you will see that you'll find some amazing surprises. So you need to create this table. Okay, so once you have that, and we know all about the product, our product, what the competition is doing, how they're marketing it, etc., the next thing that you need to know, you need to get the customer reaching, yes? And to get the customer reaching or buying, you must create an emotion. The people should either love it or hate it or die to buy it or have some kind of an emotion, and you need to know what is the emotion. Now, emotion, the word built from E and motion. So it's getting away from motion. It's very interesting that you will see that emotion, any kind of emotion that you have is the things that a person do that get him away from emotion. So if I throw at you a ball and you are angry, you will see that you will catch the ball, you will want to throw it, but you will not be able to. But if you are extremely happy and enthusiastic and extremely outgoing, what will happen is you'll take the ball, throw it to someone else, and create a kind of a game. And you'll see that the person have all kind of emotion and is going through all kind of emotion, depends on the subject. So if I'll talk to you about your children, the emotion will be, whoa, I love them, I very, 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 very high affinity. If I talk to you about the text, maybe you will get angry, or maybe you'll be apathetic, I don't know, whatever the experience that you have. So it's really important to know what's the emotion of the person in regards to that specific issue. Why? Because emotion creates actions. If you did not create an emotion, the guy will do nothing. If you want him to click, to register, he needs to feel something. He needs to become interested. You need to move him emotionally. If you did not move him emotionally, he will not do anything. Just nothing will happen. He will be look and he will not click. If you want him to buy, he will not buy. So you need to control his emotion throughout the process, up to the point where he's doing this click, up to the point where he makes a decision when there is an action. I'll give you a very nice example. There was a veterinarian, a friend, that tried to promote his business. And he did every tricks in the book. This guy was doing everything in order to sell. I mean, really everything. When he put big ads in the paper, and he says, you know, if you come to my practice, I will wash your car. And he offered to wash the dogs, and he offered everything, but really there was no real result. So what we did, we went around and we found out what is the emotion that people have in regards to a specific problem that we found. So we found out what's really the problem that they have, and we found out that they have a problem with fleas and ticks. That was their problem. They didn't care so much about broken legs of cats or dogs. They didn't care about anything. Their problem was fleas and ticks. And they were really, really, really angry about it. So what we did something really simple that cost him about 5% of what he spent on marketing. And the result was that this guy became the biggest in his area and actually created a chain of veterinarian. And this is how the ad look. It says fleas, 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 and ticks too. We kill them all. Call 1-800 blah blah. Now why that? We took the two things that really problematic. These two things, we took them and we put the emotion of we kill them, which means we are really angry. We are not going to treat them. We are not going to remove them. We are not going to handle them. We're going to kill them all. This created an unbelievable success. Now, there are many, many, many similar advertising, and you will see good advertising. You look at them and you want to act if it is something that you need. Nice advertising, you remember, but you don't remember what they were selling. So the advertising need to be, the message need to be as such that it will communicate specific thing very quickly. And we are now going to go over what is it and how to build this message. And to build this message, there are few steps. And the first step is that to find the emotion, to find the problem, to figure out what's the message eventually going to be, you need to survey. Survey means to ask. You need to ask potential customers, you need to ask existing customers, and you mustn't ask yourself or your staff. The people that are not important in this equation is you. What you think is irrelevant. What you think usually just stand on the way. The way that the color that you like, the design that you like, the message that you like has nothing to do with successful marketing campaign. And if you can neutralize what you think and work on data, the success rate will be in order of magnitude bigger and more accurate, more predictable. Because you might have a good idea what the market needs, and it might be you might be lucky and hit the correct answer, but most of the time you will not. So the law is you will not know before you survey. So to know, you must learn. How do you learn? You ask. And if you don't ask, you will not know. There's no question about it. It is 100%. If you will not ask, you will not know. Okay, so there is something that's called unique selling proposition. Some of you maybe heard about this word or phrase, but I want to go over it and explain it because we're going to use it in our marketing campaign heavily. What does it mean unique? Unique, it clearly sets you apart from your competition, positioning you as the more logical choice. So what you need to do is you need to look at what you're doing and you need to find something unique about you. And you just write it down. This is the unique things about me. That's what sets me apart. Okay, good. Once you have that, selling, what the word selling mean? Persuade another to exchange money for a product or service. So we will then need to see how we're going to persuade the customer to give us his money and what we're going to give him and how we're calling this thing that we're giving him, because you will see that what you give him is not always what you want to tell him that you give him. One of the big problem of salespeople and marketing people is that they talk about features. The features never interest the customer. What interests the customer are the benefits. So when you talk about marketing, when you talk about sales, you need to start thinking about benefits and not features. And proposition, it is a proposal or offer suggested for acceptance. And this proposition, based on the survey, should be as such that they cannot refuse. And we will see within a minute or two how we're building all of this USP, unique selling proposition. Okay, so let's define it more exact. What does it mean, unique selling proposition? Each advertisement must make a proposition to the consumer, not just word, not just product puffery, not just show window advertising. Each advertisement must say to each reader, buy this product and you will get this specific benefit. The message in the advertising is, please buy this because those are the benefits that I can give you. The next thing is, the proposition must be one that the competition either cannot or does not offer. It must be unique, either a uniqueness of the brand or a claim not otherwise made in that particular feed of advertising. So it has to be something really unique, not something that that other people doing. It has to be something that when the person look at that, he'll say, whoa, this is different. The next part is that the proposition must be so strong that it can move the masses million. I mean, pull over new customer to your product. The proposition should be as such that basically the customers will have to come to you. Why? Because they need the benefits, and it's communicated in such a way that it created an emotional response, a strong emotional response. So what is USP? Let's look at that. The following 6 powerful USPs that alleviate the pain experienced by consumer in the industry. So I picked up here 6 different USP, unique selling propositions. And this unique selling proposition actually gives you what's the pain that we're handling and what will be the benefit and a few other questions that have to be answered when you create a USP. And you will see it within a second. So first, pain. I have to get this package delivered quick. So what is the USP? When it absolutely positively has to be there overnight. Federal Express. So USP is unique selling proposition, and the unique selling proposition, when it is absolutely, positively, has to be there overnight. So what is the benefit? If I need something overnight, it will be the 100%. Another one, the kids are starving, but mom and dad are too tired to cook. Anyone has an idea what will be the USP? You all 100% know it. Well, the USP is pizza delivered in 30 minutes or it is free. It's Domino's Pizza. Domino's Pizza used to be a very small pizza joint, and it became a major business largely because of this message. It was very clear. Everyone understand it. This is the benefit I'm giving you. This is the guarantee. Just go ahead. You have nothing to lose. If it's not there in 30 minutes, you don't pay. It's free. So people went for that. Another one, the pain was people want to sell their houses fast without losing money on the deal. That was their pain. The USP was our 20-step marketing system will sell your house in less than 45 days at full market value. So this is what we're offering you. This is the benefit. I'm not telling you how I'm doing it. I'm not explaining to you the feature. I'm telling you this is what I'm guaranteeing here, that we have 20 steps, which means it's something that you can do, and it will sell your house. This is what you want to achieve, and it will be fast in less than 45 days. The pain. Many people don't like to go to the dentist because the pain and long wait. The USP, we guarantee that you will have a comfortable experience and never have to wait more than 15 minutes, or you will receive a free exam. So we tell them what we're handling, what pain we handle, what's the benefit for them, and they don't have to worry, because if we don't do that, they get free exam. The next thing, the pain, we compete with the best for the best service. That's the problem that this company had. And of course, it was Avis, and what they say, we are number 2, we acknowledge that, but we try harder. Avis at that time was almost bankrupt. It was almost out of business. They had a problem. Hertz was number 1. It was very clear. And they said, well, we just try harder. Everyone liked it. Everyone understood what they're offering and bought it. The pen. You love chocolate, but it melts in your hand and get messy. What's the USP of M&M? The milk chocolates melt in your mouth, not in your hand. Very specific. Handling exactly the pain and giving them the exact benefit. Now, that's all very nice, and it's giving you a kind of a feeling of what USP should look like, but let's see how we're building it. To build it, you need to answer 4 questions. Why should the prospect read or listen to you? That's the first question. You need to write down and to look at your business and what you're marketing for that one product. Why should a prospect read or listen to you? Okay, once you have that, why should a prospect believe what you have to say? You need to give them something that will make it for sure. And you can use many techniques. You can give guarantees. You can give a lot of different ways to guarantee that, to make them believe. Why should the prospect do anything about what you are offering? What is it in it that must be done right now? The next thing is, why should the prospect act now? If you answer those 4 questions and you'll put them in a sentence or few, you will have your USP. And if you don't have it, you will see that you will have a lot of blah, 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 but not a focused, concise message. So the result is your unique selling proposition, a very concise answer to the above 4 questions. It doesn't have to be a single sentence. It might take a few paragraphs, but one of the best exercises you can possibly do is to write it down on a piece of paper. So what is your USP? Can you clearly define it? If you cannot, you have a block on your marketing campaign, and you can do a lot of good work, but if it is not really clear, if you did not figure it out exactly, if you did not answer these 4 questions and put them down in a message that repeat them itself again and again and again, you will have a problem in your marketing campaign. So what is survey? So the first thing about a survey, because all of these questions, it's not what we think. When I look at this question, when I look at why should the prospect read or listen to you, why should the prospect believe what you have to say, why should the prospect do anything about what you are offering, or why should the prospect act now, all of these things have to be built on a survey result. It's not what you think. It's not what you think why should the prospect read or listen to you. You need to find out. You need to find out why should the prospect read and listen to you. It's mean find out what is the pain. That's why he will listen to you. Or find out what is the pleasure that he wants to achieve. One of the two. He's either want to take away pain or he wants to get pleasure. But you need to find out, and you need to find how he calls it. So you really need to survey each one of these 4 points, because if you will do just a list out of your mind, you will be able to sell to yourself very well, but not necessarily to your prospect. So what do you survey? So the first thing is, which public want your product? That's the first thing we need to find out. To who we are talking. And many people will tell you, we're talking to everyone. My product is good for everyone. Yes, maybe. I can understand it, but not. There's a kind of a public that is more specific. Let's say you sell a product for companies, and all companies needs it. Let's say it is fax machine, okay, or copier. Well, who in that company make the decisions about copy machines? That's your public. It's not all the companies. It's specific post, specific job in that specific company. You really need to name it. Trying to be many things for too many people equal fewer opportunities to serve only a few people. So one of the difficult things to do is to look at your product, knows that it can help people in many, many, many ways, and yet to withhold yourself and present a very small part of what the product can do. You really have to do that. You really have to be focused to have a very concise message, and that message have to be repeated. It is very important to recognize right up front that you cannot be all things to all people, so don't even try. Okay? What does it mean to be the best? So many people think, well, I just need to be the best. So what does it mean, the best? Let's take an insurance agent. He's got the best price, maybe. Best against who? The best service, how do you show it? The best coverage, how do you show it? All of these things you need to show. If you don't show it, it's just a big generality, because you need to prove it. And how do you prove it? What you do, because no one can be the best at everything, what you do is you learn, successful businesses learn how to articulate their story and sell the strong benefits to the correct public. So you need to find the public. Once we find the public, we find out what they have as a pain or what they want as pleasure. We find which benefit in our product apply to this pain, to solving this pain, or to giving that pleasure, and we concentrate only on those. We don't talk about all the other things, and definitely we don't talk about features. Features we talk about only if we have no choice. So what to survey? The first thing we surveyed is what kind of public, who is the public. The second thing is what the public's most needs and want or demand from your product. So you survey without mentioning your product. You don't go and you say, well, I'm selling M&M. What is your problem in regards to M&M? No, you say, well, if you were to buy chocolates, what don't you like about chocolates? What is the thing that you most like about chocolate? What do you hate about chocolate? What gets you angry? And you really find out everything about this product, not mentioning your specific product, because they usually don't know, unless if you survey your own customers. But this is really when you sell to your own customer, it's a little bit different. It's the same principle, but a bit different in your question, because they know your product. So find the buttons and what they like, love, find useful, hate, etc. Now, what is a button? A button is like in a computer or in a machine. When you press it, it turns on. People have buttons. Every person in the world have certain kind of thing that if he will see or hear, it will get his attention, and others he will not even see. So each person in average see per day 5,000 different marketing messages, and those marketing messages going through the eyes and you don't even see them. But there are those that when you see them, you stop and you read. And you have about 1 to 1.5 seconds to catch the person's attention. And what catch the person's attention is the button. So let's say that I'm interested in buying a new car. While I'm interested in buying a new car, every advertising about cars will catch my attention. Cars is my button. And if it's a luxury car, only luxury cars will catch my attention. If I'm interested in buying a new laptop, or if I have a problem with my laptop that it's too slow, and I will see a button that says, your slow laptop kills you, if I'm angry about it, it will get my attention. So you need to find the button, and there is a specific way, a very exact way how to find buttons, which is different than how to find the public. You also look at past survey. If there was any kind of other information, things that you did in the past. And then you're figuring positioning of your product. Now, what is positioning? Positioning is really a very strong thing. When people don't know something, the way to make them feel that they know all about it is to compare what you have to something that they already know. So let's say that I'm selling a new email software, and but it's totally new. I could say, well, everyone know Gmail or everyone know Outlook. So I will say, well, you know, this new software is Outlook on steroid. They don't know anything about my product, but they feel that they know. You create with the correct positioning an instant feeling at the other side that he knows. Now, what's the problem? If you don't create this positioning, the guy will invent what it is, and it will not be what you want. So the positioning leads the mind to think something very specific about your product. So if you want people to think about your product, let's say that you sell insurance, and what you want to think that they will think that our company, once you have a problem, it will never leave you. And you somehow positioning it next to a very good dog, someone that really sits next to you and will never leave you. And you put some kind of a short story about a dog that never left his owner. It might be a very good positioning. We don't leave you. We are like a dog. Once you are with us, we will be with you. Once you create that positioning, and I don't know if that's the best positioning for insurance, but something along that line, you will see that once you find the correct positioning, you will create an immediate feeling with the customer that he knows what it's all about, and his idea of that product or his idea of a very good dog will be immediately transferred to you and your product. You are with this kind of characteristics. Now, how do you find what's the correct positioning? You don't just invent it. You survey. You do questions like, let's say that you find the biggest problem that they had is that the computer is slow. You ask them in the survey, what is the picture or thing that reminds you the most about slow computers? Or if you want to give them the solution, that you have the fastest computer in the market, what is the fastest thing you know? That will be kind of a survey question, and you ask few questions like that. And you will see that most of the people will give you the same picture or shape that representing that problem that you want to sell. And this thing, you position against that thing. You put your message against that thing. You put your button against that thing. You find the picture that create this thing. So you try to say that you are this thing. I had a company in the past that was extremely successful, but at the beginning it was really problematic. It didn't go well. And it was selling some kind of electronic anti-fraud system for fuel. And we were doing in South Africa all kind of advertising. And the advertising didn't work. Like, we didn't get any riches. Although the system was like no-brainer. You put the system in, you say 40% on fuel consumption, and you pay 2%. It's like anyone can figure this thing out. Well, what we found is that in the advertising, we put a picture of a fuel station. We put a picture of a truck. We put a picture of a nozzle. All kind of ideas that relating to fuel. All of these things had nothing to do with the problem. One day we realized that we need to do a survey of positioning, and we did a survey, and we found out that what the owners of those fleets were thinking that got to do with solving the problem of fraud is seeing a person getting arrested by the police. We put a picture of a person getting arrested by the police, and we moved from almost no sales to eventually a company of a value of $100 million. So what did it is not the product. It's not the features. It's not anything. It was the correct communication. We positioned the message correctly. We obviously found the button, etc., and the result was a great success. So it's very important. Survey is extremely important. Now, once you get the information, you need to tabulate it. You need to take the answers and somehow put them on a graph. And there's a whole way on how to do it. And I want to just a little bit speed up because it's taking me longer than what I thought. So what you do, you tabulate it, and you create instant familiarity. Once you tabulate it correctly and you find the correct thing, you create instant familiarity, and you compare your product to familiar things. Now, before I continue, and because we're running out of time, I want to ask you if you have any questions. So does the product adapt to the customer or the customer adapt to the product? That's a very good question. Actually, eventually the product have to adapt to the customer, but when you have a product, you need to control the customer. You need to present the product in such a way that the customer will want it. So, of course, if the product has no value to the customer, you cannot sell it. It's just, that's a given. You need to have a product that has some value to the customer. To increase the value, to magnify the value, you survey the customer, find out what is his pain, and you present your product as the thing that will solve that pain. It has to be true. You cannot say that it will solve the problem and it will not, because you will not sell eventually. You will get stuck. You will have a lot of problems. But you definitely adapt the customer to you. That's marketing. Marketing create wants. Any other questions? Is it about presentation or really unique product because of it is no, it's about the presentation, Gabi. It's about the presentation. It's how you present it. What's the problem with adjusting the product to individual needs of the customer? Well, you can do that if you have a product that you want that bid for that it's a very unique product, but you will see that when products are getting very unique to specific customers, it will be very small. And to make it big, it can be done. You will just need a much better administration, much better system. It can be done, but the ideal scene is that the product that you have will go to a specific market and all of these people will want it. If I need to go to each customer and modify my product, it's limited. For example, you take SAP, an ERP. They're a very big company. They have a big part that is very standard, and there's a lot of things that can be adjusted. They are limited in the growth with that, and they realized that very quickly, and they created a few smaller products that have less adaptation needs. You will look at the very big companies in the world. They are not the companies that needs to adjust each product to each customer. So the customer needs to adapt to your product, and with time you adapt the product to the customer, but as a standard thing, not as something that you need to adapt to each customer separately. Any other questions? Okay, so let me finish this, unless if you have more questions, which you can just throw at me whenever you're ready. I'll finish this one slide, and the rest will be next week. We have probably another hour of slides. I thought that it will be much faster. So the next thing, you can compare below, with, or above a familiar thing. So when we found the positioning, let's say I found the positioning as a Ferrari. I'm comparing myself to Ferrari. I can be either slower than Ferrari, the same as a Ferrari, or even better than a Ferrari. So when you do the comparison with your position, with your thing that you're positioning against, you need to decide how you're going to position yourself. Are you below it, above it, or with it, exactly the same line? And then once you decide how to do that, you need to come with a bright idea how to communicate it. Chocolate that melts in your mouth and not in your hand is a bright idea. And how you come with a bright idea, you look at the data. You look at the data, not an opinion. And you really have to separate opinions from facts. And you have all of them in front of you. The bright idea will come. There is no question about it. It does not contain any effort. The bright idea will simply come there. You isolate the button and refine your message. So it's really important to isolate the button. It's really, really important that the button is very specific. So the buttons in the advertising of the veterinarian was fleas, 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 and ticks too. That was the button. The message is, we kill them all. You really have to have something that will catch the attention of the customer. This is the thing that when he will look at, he will give you your attention. Okay, before I'm ending, I want to tell you that to make all of this successful, the key for success is that you need Well, the keys for success, not only in marketing, in any business, is something that you probably don't think about, and it might be surprising for you. But the way to create a success, given that you have a product, I'm assuming that you have a product, the only thing you need to do is to get organized. It's amazing. But you will see that big companies, successful companies, the major thing about them is they have a kind of a workflow. Everything have a system. In McDonald's have a system on how to sell hamburger. This is how we're selling it. AT&T have a system on how to sell cell phones. Apple have a system on how to sell iPhones, etc. And when the system is not defined and not drilled into the company will not succeed. It's an amazing datum, but I 100% can prove that the way, when you don't have income, when you have a problem with income, all you need to do is to organize. And if you will organize, the income will come. And if you will not organize, and you will just somehow manage, you may create some income, but very quickly you will fail and fail and fail, and every time the problem will become bigger and bigger and bigger. What we're suggesting is a very specific system on how to organize. And you can, if you want, you've got my email, and you can email me and I will show you the system, and I will show you how you make money, how we took companies like Motorola in Israel, and how we moved the productivity from number 47 to number 1. How we took different companies and we got them and we turned them into an overnight success just because of organize. Again, assuming that they have a product that have some value to the customer. And the organize apply to different areas, but you need a system, because all of the things that I told you about is just a fraction of what's actually needs to be done in order to create a proper marketing campaign. But once you put all of those things that need to be done into a system, it's really easy to follow. Actually, we have a list of 690 items that need to be done in order to create a successful marketing campaign. And only if you do all of these 690 items, some of them you need to do every day, some every week, some every month, some every 3 months. Only if you do all of that will you have a success, and this success is guaranteed. It's not something that, well, maybe. It's not we're going to increase the sales by 20%. I'm talking about order of magnitude, multiplying the success by 10. This is the order of magnitude that I'm talking about. Because if things are done correctly, you will see an overnight expansion. And if things are done incorrectly, you will see slow death. Okay, that's what I have for today. Actually, I have much more, but this is for this webinar. I want to thank everyone for joining. I want to remind you, please fill the survey. It's really important for me. And I will send you an invitation for the next webinar, and I hope that you will join me and ask others to come too. Thank you very, very much.